All right, we're over here. Nordovich, buddy, where are you these days, man? I was just thinking about you because I met you in Denver ages ago, and I think you moved Bay Area or something. But we got to get the Denver Club up, buddy. The Denver Club. All right, I wanted to do a celebratory stream today. We have our club page up, which hopefully will also eventually be a team page. And some people, by the way, are a little confused about why this is so amazing. I just did a vid about it, but the short answer is when I was in school, high school, we didn't have no structure, dude. It was just some dude, some math teacher. Junior high was the same thing. Some math teacher was like, yeah, you can come in here and like play blitz at lunch. That's all it was, dog. You know? But they were, they weren't really chess players. But if they had access to the dojo, what they could have done is set up a scoreboard, a team scoreboard where everybody's in there. Ta, 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 ta. And then that person, even if they knew nothing about chess, could see who's doing what, right? How can I help them to do such and such, right? Amazing. If we had had that back in the day, oh, buddy. Instead, I was just on my own, dude. I was like, I was reading books from the public library or something. I didn't have there was no specific structure that I could have followed. And definitely, if there had been a roster, where I could see who's done what, oh man, that would have been fantastic for me, Would have been not just like the rating, but like here are skills that I need to learn, right? Hi, Abdul. Yeah. So, also then with the clubs, and right now we just started this thing, but we already have loads of clubs. So far, no teams yet. But we have all these clubs. And the idea of the club is a little bit different. And that is you can find people in your area, right? Let's say we've started a Baltimore club. That's where I am. So that is then also both a social thing and something where you can get together to do sparring, study together in real life, right? I'm finding people, for example, I didn't even know were in the Baltimore area. Also, though, what we have in here, for example, is a German group, a French group. Those people can then get together and maybe talk in their native language. Fantastic, right? We also then have, let's say, a European group or an Australian group already. And the point of that is they can get together and not have to deal with the weirdness of an American time zone when they're looking for sparring, right? Or looking to study together. Fantastic. So I thought today I would do, just to celebrate it, is in the same way I do a top of the cohort, that I would do one from the top of the club, right? Okay. So here we go. This is Mitched It. Mitch Fabian is one of the original dojo members. This is even before we had this is even before we had the training program, long before. And we would watch Mitch, like he was studying openings way too seriously, of course, but he was really into it in the pandemic time. And me and Kostya would a lot of times be like live streaming his games, other people in the dojo, and he would always be blowing it. And so somehow me and Kostya said he mitched it, and that just caught on. So now, years later, he has created the club Mitched It with loads of people already joined. Okay, so I just going to do the same thing. I do top of the cohort. I'm going to look at who's has the highest score and who has done something in the last 7 days. So we're now going to look at Thor Biddles. Thor Biddles, Dojo 1.0. Let me just say, one of the things I really like about the new site is just a little bit of information. In fact, I don't even want to know a lot, but am I interested that he's a 45-year-old dude? Yeah, it's been, Thor Biddles has been with us from the beginning, man. Also, like Mitch, way at the beginning. All right, so there you got his USCF. He's cranked it, dude. Cranked it recently. Oh, my God. And let's see what's going on. So right around the 1900 level for all these things. And that's really cool. So let's take a look at Thor Biddle's activity. And let me just say, it's a little bit unfair, maybe not the word, but the rate of progression from, say, the lower cohorts, 600, 700, 800, we're seeing people are crushing that, obviously. I don't know if it's obvious, but they're going much faster than, say, somebody like Thor Biddles, where Thor Biddles making 2,000, it's a real struggle. And, he's got to make it to 2,100 USCF, right? And in fact, like really, he needs to be actually the first make it to 1,900 bows. He's doing great in terms of his progression, but the first task is actually to make it to 1,900. This, of course, is our normalized FIDE rating. Okay, so, oh, nice. And Terrible Tenhorn just joined the dojo. He's in the chat here. Fantastic, man. Yeah, I'm really pumped. And let's look at Thor Biddles here, the activity. And it doesn't seem like he's done a lot of games in analysis. We're going to check it out. It looks like he's been doing a lot of endgame. Okay, the rook endgame progression match. How many? He's done it 5 times. So let me just say, I am working on getting the rook endgame progression match down to a more user-friendly match. And so we're going to fix that by the time of Dojo 3.0, which is May 1st, maybe even before that. Anyways, really cool that Thor Biddles did that. That's why this is such a huge chunk over here. Middle Games of Strategy, Art of Attack, New York 1924, fantastic. And then let's look, he's done some opening work, nice. We're about to shift how we do openings. When that happens, I'll do a video about that. And then mates in 2, man, 1470. That's kind of a hilarious number because 1471 is when they get difficult. Okay, so, I mean, they're going to be difficult before, but at 1471 is when things get real. Okay, so here we go. I haven't looked at a game from Thor Biddles in a while, so let's check it out. Okay. And Theo says, I've often wondered about that, if more should be done to recognize advancement at the higher cohorts, where someone might only get 1 graduation for a metric ton of work. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how to convert a metric ton into freedom units, but, we know what he's saying. There's a lot of work getting done for myself, too, man. Just, man, it's hard. So it's a 60-30 challenge. Okay, so here he goes, Thor Biddles. Okay, this is a sad way of playing chess. And I actually covered this precise variation in my course on the Scandi, aggressive repertoire for white. So C6, and let's talk a little bit about this. The thing to now recognize, okay, is black is going to try to will set up a shell like this. And the pawns on the light squares will hope to form a cage against our beast. This is our beast right here. How strong will this thing be? Yeah, so we want to open the position. Black wants to keep it closed, right? Okay. Now, here, interesting moment. I think if we looked in the database, bishop e3 would be, I think I actually did look at one point, the most common move. And there's nothing wrong with it. Fabi, if I remember correctly, against the great Carlsen himself, played the fairly amazing, I believe this app was where it was, knight e2. And the point of this move was really ingenious, where the knight is now dominated because of this pawn. And so we're just going to move it and intend to play g4 and bishop g2. Very creative chess. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with bishop e3. e6, castles, fine. Bishop b4, and now this is a bad move. How terrible, I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Spent 90 seconds on this move, but didn't calculate correctly. Pinned the knight and thought I could take on c3 with the queen and reply to knight d5 with queen d2. Okay, now before we talk about tactics, the reason this is incorrect is that what we need to sense in this position is that we have a bad piece, and that bad piece's name is the knight on c3. And bishop b4, I don't even know if I like the move. What would be a good default move? Knight d7. So bishop b4, unless you're going to do something there, you are, I'm going to say it, you're pissing in the wind, right? So the move that white should really think hard about here is knight e4, trying to improve their worst piece, right? And then the long-term strategy of white is to put our pawns in the dark squares and let this beast shine. Let it shine, let it shine, right? Okay. Right. So, life can be so nice. Thank you for gifting these subs. Very nice. Okay. I think life can be so nice. I'm pretty sure it's from Germany. We now have a German club. That's pretty cool. We'll check that club out in a second, actually. So bishop g5, I don't like. Now, this snip happens. And it's definitely controversial. But the point is going to be that if we take back with the queen, that is going to hit us. And black has seemingly solved their problems. Yeah. Now, it might be a little insane, but it would have been worth it to think about this move. Because this move will keep the bishop pair. Now, is it insane? I'm not sure yet, right? I'm not sure yet. This might be insane. But the point is, let's say knight d7. This is probably insane. I just want to say, I'd really rather not trade off my bad boy here, right? I'd really rather not do it. It's a little insane, though, because black will eventually get counterplay. Okay, so knight e4, snip, snap, pop, king takes. Okay, and then he says, pretty equal endgame we get here. My doubled pawns aren't bad for now. Little better center control, but black is solid with no weaknesses in sight. Okay, so interesting assessment. I would definitely rather be black in this position. And the reason is because my sensei, Vasily Sisov, I didn't actually study with the guy, but I spent a lot of time studying his games, has a great quote. The man was terse for words, but an endgame maestro. He wrote that knights are stronger than bishops in positions where there are local weaknesses. And this is a great example of a local weakness. So, white, on the other hand, is not without their dreams. The dream of white would be to open the position, right? And also Smyslov says, you could actually make a dream for white here, is that white would like to create a situation with an open board with passed pawns running on both sides. It's a distant dream at the moment, right? But we know what they should be thinking about. Okay, so a4. I don't know about a4. I'm going to say I really dislike the move, in fact. Because now, after a5, you're going to have to babysit that pawn, and plus, yeah, no good. No good. One common critique I have with endgame annotations is that people don't go too deep on them. And so this is a very dynamic position, loads to think about. And actually, look, we got the time here. And let's say something hilarious. At this point, neither player has thought at all. At all. Okay? At all. Okay. They think later. They do think later. Okay. Germans are rolling deep in the dojo. Oh, man. Hey, Sombrero. And Sombrero started his own Turkish club. Hopefully he'll get some people in there. So what should white do? That's a good question. Bishop d3 can't be wrong, though, right? Okay, so here we go. Now, one thing Nimzovich says, and I'm just full of things, right? I'm just full of things here. Nimzovich said that pawn weaknesses get worse as they progress up the board, and that's exactly what white is doing here. So I understand. Really gonna have to do that, I guess, because the knight was getting ready to go to b6. Okay, so let's bring it. Okay. Okay. Now, what we have to commend white on is they have put the pawns on the dark squares and the bishop on the light squares. So that part about it was well done. And black has to come up with a plan now. Do I understand this move? No comprendo. No comprendo. And also, like, when we do our notes, but, say h5, what are you doing? What is it, buddy? What is it that you're doing? Okay. What is the natural move here for black? It's definitely either knight f6 or putting one of the rooks to d8. Right? Yeah. Okay, so h5, no comprendo. f4, I don't know. And now it's getting hot. Really what you're saying with this move is that if h4, you are claiming that f5 is going to be good for you. Maybe. Maybe there's still something to be said about it. Black says no. Knight f6. And this is actually a really nice variation. Look at this, f5, because that's what white would like to play. Knight e3, crispy critters. Very nice variation. Okay, good variation. So now that f5 is off the table, it seems like black is definitely on top. So knight d5. Yeah, did I say something about local weaknesses, my friend? Now we got, look at these squares. Pa, 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 pa. It's all a bunch of big drama here. And now you say rook df1. By the way, people aren't thinking. You can see in the times here, 51:49. So now rook f1, knight f4, rook f8. F8. I'm not thrilled with that. For example, a simple way to just hold the pawn here is to play king d7. And now if rook f1, then we play g5, right? And if rook h7, we just say king e7. And the position is, it's hard to imagine it not being lost because of all the weaknesses that white has in addition to being down a pawn. The knight is amazing on f4, right? Okay, so rook h8. I think white's in a bad way, by the way. Just in a bad way. I don't have any great advice, honestly. But Now we're passive, right? Now rook h2. At some point, maybe right now, we should be thinking strongly about f5 to fix the weakness on f4. Right? Now, does knight f6 make sense to me? I don't think so. Rook, yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing with knight f6? Now, we do have a little bit of an issue in that our king on c7 isn't as active as it would like to be. At some point, we should also say white will probably be compelled to play c4. So there's no need. We're going to play knight f6. We might do it after c4. But c4 will really weaken the structure because then d4 doesn't ever have a support of the pawn to c3. Okay, so f5 right now, there's no rush. And, well, maybe, no, I'm not really a rush. Because if white plays f5, we can always play ef and then g5. So anyways, I've been thinking forever here as to whether we should play b5 now or b6. And the intention there is to, more than anything, to give our king a little bit of degree of freedom. You know? Okay, so black kind of puts us around a little bit. That's not doing nothing. And now f5. If you can play f5, you should play f5 for sure. But then black plays a good move. Good. Good. So, on rook g1, it would be a real question of like for example, if I'm black here, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm probably gonna play something like rook h3. I don't know. Yeah, it is a very terrible position though. Like you can imagine rook a3, king d2. You got to worry about rook a3. These are some of the notes that should go on in here. Excellent move. Now, let's talk about why this is nice. Because obviously we got to pass pawn. The knight is an amazing blockader. And the only reason that black isn't 100% winning this is because his king is yet to fix itself. Check the miserable king. And now he's going to play knight e4 and f6. That's probably fair. Okay, so let's do it. Pop, pop, pop. And now knight f2. You guys, we got to talk more about these decisions. Knight f2. And now rook f3 happens. One fascinating question that I would want to ask is, does rook h1 win? Does rook h1 win? So, for example, pop, pop, pop. Let's bring your king out first. And now you have a choice between d3 and e6. There's no entryway for the white pieces, so it's really a bummer. The question again is still, can the black king get in? And let's just put bishop d3 for a second. Here, the natural move would be either knight h5 or b6. And we have pretty great chances to win this thing, because this pawn is on the wrong color. And we can reroute to this, and there's no entry path. So b6 would be our default move. Okay, so these are some of the things I want people to look at. You can see in the game they're not thinking. Now you could say, Kraai, isn't that amazing that they're not thinking? And it might be amazing, but we see it all the time at the dojo. We see this all the time, people not thinking. It's just part of the way it is. All right, now knight h3 happens. It's kind of a weird spot. I guess I get it, though. We got to ask if that really was a threat. Ooh, knight d5? What's interesting about knight d5 and then the response from white is they're apparently both not looking as to whether it's a drawn position for white. If white takes, that would be my first question. Can I take that thing, bows? Hey, bows, can I take that thing? So knight d5, well, you got to try to take it. And then, there's questions. There's questions here. Let's play king b2 first. Stop rook over. And now it'll be a little dramatic here. Rook f4 doesn't work yet because I can snip and then run my way in. And then otherwise I'm threatening to get to the e file and get counterplay. Boss, did you realize your pawn is hanging though? Kraai, come on. That's why you didn't take it, you chump. Maybe you should be better, buddy. Huh? Okay, I take it back. I take it back. I understand why this happened, kind of. And now 93. Do I? Well, we can't say. You Kraai, you got to shut up, dude. You got to shut up because you're just saying all kinds of trash and it's never true. This has got to be toast. They're just going super fast. 97. Do I like 97? I don't know if I get 97. Like, for example, if I play knight g3, how is black going to get out of this? I'm controlling all the nice squares. And I got simple intentions of pushing. You could kind of sort of put your rook there, but nobody likes it. You know, king e6 if nothing else. Right? The knight's controlling all of the business. So this is a little weird. d5 is definitely interesting. That's a good variation, man. Yeah, good variation. And then g3 makes sense that g3 would be winning right away. Check to the miserable king. Bishop b2. I'm not sure I get it. Okay. Okay, black is still completely winning here. Not sure that, then I don't know what that's about, dude. Desperately seeking Susan. Check to the miserable king. Somebody blew it. Did black have plenty of time? They did. You guys, so what I want you to see is even at this level, pretty high level, it's about people not taking their time in these situations and blundering away stuff. Okay, Thor Biddles, buddy. A couple things I want to say. Let's go back. Let's refresh. First of all, it is not horrendous if at a certain point you feel like I should demote myself. It's okay. Because really making it to 1900 is hard enough in itself. It's a very rough business. You know, if you know, it's cool, by the way, that you're using your USCF. But more importantly, I think what we saw in that game is there was some strategic stuff at the beginning. I feel like you didn't understand. Obviously, anybody can miss that bishop c3 stuff, right, as a tactic. But the strategic stuff, I feel like maybe you didn't get because you thought the position was equal, for example. That's important. But then more important is that you gotta use your time. And when you annotate the game, and it's an end game, just say to yourself, Kraai says that the way I'm going to learn to play end games is to go deep in these variations. All right. So, okay, maybe Kostya, let's see, come on whenever. Maybe Kostya's going to show us his big game against Fabi, dude. He beat Fabi in a 10-3 game. How about that, buddy? How about that? So, let's go back. And we're doing top of the club, my friends. So we'll go clubs. And now we're going to look at the Brazil dojo. And we're going to look at Ricardo Alves, who I know because they've graduated before, been on the graduation show. And when I did those streams looking for the best games of the dojo, I know that Ricardo is doing some really good work with the annotations. Namaste, Rashad. Okay, so dude made it 1601. Okay, looking good. Actually, let's look at activity first. That's looking good, man. You can see Ricardo's graduated several times, working very hard. Let's click around. Polgar mates in 2, 1580, very nice. Then we got some tactics. Boss, you already did the tactics. Simple chess, good. Endgame, good. Oh, he's doing the work. Okay, so my recollection is that Ricardo has done a lot of good annotations. Let's check out one that I haven't seen yet, which is his newest one. So he's playing up. This guy's got a lot of rating points on him. Let's see how it goes. Nice. This is the dojo repertoire, EF6. And I'm really hoping that Ricardo has a feel for how this goes. Beautiful. Fine. Obviously, bishop e3 is not the happiest move to make. Now, question. Should dude play bishop f4? He does, and let's read what he says. It isn't a mistake, but it is a move that lost tempo and tried to create attacking chances without the proper preparation. The other problem is that his answer stopped. After his answer, I stopped playing for the pressure on the e file. The result is a move without harmony with the other moves. Oh, that's really well said. Dude, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. Kostya's asking me how long I have here, and I'm going to say an hour or so. So. Right, so let's talk about this bishop f4. Unless we are winning the pawn, we definitely don't want to do it. Now, for what I'll say as well is that knight d7, let's say castles, knight f8 would be typical play for this opening, right? And while it might be technically equal, I would rather be black here. Black is the one who's going to get to attack on the king side. It's very surprising, actually, if you don't know this opening. One of the reasons it's so deadly is you can say to yourself, oh, bows. Kraai has told me that I am allowed to do things like this. And the first time you see it, you're like, Kraai, really, buddy? No, but that's our side of the board because we got this extra space, extra king security. Whereas white needs to try to start something on the queen side, and it's far more abstract. Mate isn't that abstract. Okay. Kostya's going to be on about 20 minutes. Show us his amazing game with Fabi. Nice. Okay. So, bishop f4, queen d2. And then what we really need to do, though, is analyze this bishop e7, because you are winning a pawn here at this point, aren't you? Or are we saying king e2 is a thing? I don't know. Here, for example, is a question. King e2 is 1. You know, maybe black should just be very self-satisfied if he gets him to play that. A little more natural might be castles. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. We can either play rook he1 or queen takes first. Let's do it this way first. And the question is, was that pawn worth it? I'm assuming that's the move. And here we're also assuming that bishop h7 doesn't work because of g6. That might be an open question. Maybe it does work, actually. I don't know. This is a great example, of course, of development. Let's say I take the thing, h4, and you can see the issue for Mr. Tissue, which is that king g7 can't be done yet, or at least would be difficult because of rook e8. And so if bishop g4, knight h2, it's complicated. And this would be kind of the thing to talk to us about, like why you didn't do it. Because you're absolutely right. I like what you're saying, is that bishop f4, the only logical follow-up is queen e7, right? Okay. So bishop f4. One thing, too, to learn about this is to really distrust moves that don't develop your stuff, right? And bishop d6 is in a lot of ways your best attacking piece, and you're going to go trade it off for that chump with on e3. Okay, so here we go, knight d7. Yeah, and now what do we think? I don't know. White's got to be doing good. And now, how do I feel about this e4 move? I don't know. So, by the way, kind of a challenge here for white in terms of developing a plan. E4, besides looking kind of central and cool, I'm not really sure what it does. Yeah. I like white's position because the pawns in the dark squares, which should stay on the dark squares because we got a bishop on the light, are nicely suited for like the stability of the white structure. One barbaric attempt that appeals to me a little bit is to play rook g1 intending g4, g5. That makes sense to me. You'll often see players at this level, the 1600 FIDE level, make moves like this. They feel good to the person playing them, but it's not clear they do anything. He just I won't say undeveloped a piece, but he hampered his bishop on d3, and now it's our move. And you go for it with b5. Okay, in spirit, I like it. We need to be thinking about how the knight on f8 is going to do its thing. We'll give your move a try. Okay, now white just continues to do this. I don't know. I don't know. a5, you go crazy. Why don't we just put a bishop over here or something, Bowers? Come on. Wow, he goes for it too, man. Look at that. I don't know. We're about to find out. Yeah, bishop b6 is definitely better. And why is it equal? I mean, white knight needs to now prove something. No proof? No proof? No pudding. You don't show me, buddy, then that's it. Yeah. Okay, queen d5. Yeah, you should take on f7. Sure. Now, there's probably a reason dude didn't do it, though. And on rook f7, we need to investigate ye old h6. It's getting a little hot. Well, these are some of the things we need to talk about. Yeah, we need to talk about this one. So dude plays b3. Good. Okay. He's increasing the pressure, but does he have an actual threat? You bring your knight in. Okay. Queen e7. Threatening the knight in the a3 point. He can't play bishop c6. Now, that all might be true, but I got a basic question. Why are we playing a4? So queen e7. And now you blundered with rook a c8. Yeah, by the way, I think you're doing mostly okay here, even though I liked a4 better. I'm not sure about rook f2 either. One bummer about this rook a c8 is the exchange sacrifice actually would be pretty cool if you could just hold your g-pawn. So, for example, the barbaric h5 isn't that dumb. Because you're just saying, Baus, I'm going to hold the line over here. Now, does it all work out? I don't know. But, I mean, even if I'm trying to say if you sack the rook then, like you do here, you have good compensation. But the way it goes down, so I'm going to just back up to show people. So that's what he missed. And now with the loss of the g-pawn, it really does look like we're toast. Okay, that's unfortunate. He gives you a pawn, you say thank you very much. Now, we could have taken with the queen. And we should definitely think about taking with the queen. Right? It's not, he hasn't broken through yet. Okay. Dang. Dang. It would also be good if we had some times on here. And then here you talk about f6. Now, the bummer is that our queen is in the escape path of the king. So rook d8 or whatever isn't going to do it, as this leads to this kind of mate. So f5. And then if the pawn were on f6, we would play fe5 and hope to live. Okay. Yeah, we'd have counterplay with rook f1 and whatnot. Oh. Yeah, now we're crispy critters. Okay. So, those are all good notes. And the other thing that we can say is that when you annotate some games, play some longer games and annotate them in your opening, you will get a sense of the ideas of the opening, right? And so here, sometimes we call that mixing systems, for example. Nightpat Chess, thank you for rating. We call that mixing systems sometimes there's different systems, opening systems, but right, you're mixing different ideas where you lost a significant amount of time and your good bishop with bishop f4. And then also you want to have the confidence to play this type of position, right? Where we will be attacking on the king side. Okay, Ricardo, really cool. So that was the Brazil dojo. Nice. Now we're going to go look at the UK dojo. Now my name is Josh wrote me actually in the Discord and said, you shouldn't pick me, Baus, because I haven't been that active. And it's true. Look at that. Last 7 days. Hasn't been doing it. Hasn't been doing it. So actually I made a mistake. We got to do pepper chess, Baus. We got to do pepper chess. He's been working. He's been doing it. So, pepper chess, by the way, was like sad because he was making incredible progress and then had like a month or something of a decline. I think he was talking about this little dip right here. And he was posting, oh, what am I supposed to do with my dip? My chest is in a crisis. Help me, friends, help me. And me and Kostya were like, that isn't a crisis, buddy. That's just a little dip. That's like statistical variation or something, you know? But, you know, I guess you can kind of understand it where he's had success for so long, you know, that a little dip is going to feel horrendous. Okay. So, 7:45. Next graduation, 10:50. He's at 9:55, so 10:50 of this ChessCom rating. One thing that fills me with anxiety is we are going to have to do something with our beautiful normalized rating system when FIDE screws it all up, and I don't know when they're going to screw it all up, but it's coming quick. And it's just going to wreck everything, dude. They are so dumb. And part of me is thinking, like, maybe it won't actually happen, you know? I'm just like, it's so dumb that somebody might step in and be like, Baus, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, let's take a look at Pepper Chess. Very active. Look at that, 138 in this cohort. Let's click around a little bit. You need your mates in two, Baus. No, he's doing it, man. Those are the Polgar mates in, where's the mates in one? Oh, over here, yeah. So he's done those. Just started on the mates in two. Okay, and everyone's first chess workbook. Good. And we got some endgame work with the algorithm. We got it's a smidge of openings. Good. And then middle games of strategies. Nice. Okay, so that's all looking great. Let's go see a game from Pepper Chess. This was played fairly recently. So, there's a little bit of backstory. He's struggling around 1,000 ELO. Getting a kicking OTB paired with the stronger players, right? Okay, so now he's playing someone at his own level at the club championship. I say this every time. The Europeans, dude, they got it, especially for like people who are a little older where you can play one game a week or something. Perfect, you know. Okay, so D3 is obviously a weird move, right? Blocking in the bishop on F1. Pop. Pop. Now, I like this combative mode of Pepper Chess. I like this a lot. So, could have done other things, but this is the most violent and contentious. White, what does White do? Seeks to defang the situation by losing a tempo. Bam, thank you very much, I'll take that. And now we have a move here with bishop G4. And let's look at this analysis here. This is a little bit confused. So DE, my gut reaction is White needs to take here before they do anything. Snip, snap. Why can't I take on E4? I'm taking on e4, Baus. There's no mate. My knight's here. And I'm about to smack you here or smack you here. Okay. Jerry McDonald says, the 47-page proposal leads me to believe it will happen. Yeah. We're going to look at Jerry's business here in a second, too. Now, let's talk briefly about this position in the structure. So, the pawn on c, even though he gave us a tempo, the pawn on c3 has the use of containing our knight. When we take, the issue is that this bishop is set free. Okay? So the real variation from my eyes would be, how do we feel about this? Do we still feel that we're doing great? And I'm going to go and say black is doing great. Sure. One idea to fix this knight here might even be to scooch it over, right? And we have a nice position. You could do other things too. You could play like bishop e6 here. Their bishop g4 might be okay, but I want you to see this is their problem piece. And when you play bishop g4, you're giving that piece something to do. Uh-oh, he can hear me now with h6. I can hear Jesse now. Something about time, or that's not it, boss, is going to be said here. However, in my 1K ELO brain, I have given my king an escape square from the back rank if I castle kingside. Also, if he moves the bishop back, he is wasting time. Other moves potentially to get out of the pin are queen d6 and so on. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If you could recapture with the queen, then I would be 100% with this h6 move. So let's just pretend for a second that you had played bishop e6, bishop e2, and now we play h6. Let's be clear. This is not a loss of a tempo, because on bishop f6, we recapture queen f6, and we have developed something. We've gone a step to connecting our rooks. Great, right? But this, we're definitely losing time, and we're encouraging white to damage our structure, right? So even in this situation, the dude could have considered bishop f6 to damage our structure, right? But now you are going to give away a tempo with the hope of him damaging your structure, and that's what he does, right? So I did yell at you. I did yell at you, Baus. So what would have been better? Well, we have a problem because we put the bishop out here. Now here, you can yell at me. One move that comes to mind for me is just moving it on back, Baus. Just move it back. The other move that's very simple to make, probably best, is pop, right? Because if he goes this way, I think we're winning a pawn, right? And if he takes, maybe he has to, then we get this position, and we like it. We're up in time. We're going to smack him with rook d8. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Okay, so horrendo. Castles. Queen d6, okay. And then now we're getting frisky with it. Now this move, queen d2, I'm not a huge fan of queen d2. And one thing that white should consider is this move here, knight h4. This would be a good move. Now you could say to me, Kraai, I thought you said that we weren't supposed to move developed pieces twice. Now hear me out. Hear me out. If black takes, that's a developing move. That's a free developing move. And further, you can then see what the intention of knight h4 is. I want to talk to you on this weak square, right? You're the one that created that weak square, and I'm just following through on it, right? Also, this bishop on e2 is my worst piece. My being white, my worst piece is white. So I would love to trade it. So queen d2, castles. I like that you're developing here. Knight h4, good move. You can see, remember the previous game with Ricardo, we were talking about the mixing systems? Well, here, white is the one who clearly lost the tempo with this queen d1, d2 stuff, right? So, poop, mistake. Here you talk about h5, maybe even bishop e6, because, see, if he gets that knight there, it's going to be such a pain in the butt, as the French say, that it'll just be a little bit unpleasant, you know? So he does this. Nice. Now he's achieved it, the dream. And now de4. I'm assuming queen e4 would also be a good move. Right. Now, I think you have to challenge that knight. By the way, yeah, queen e4, that's the question I have. Now, maybe the variation we could then look at is like here. Yeah, and see, maybe you're pushing him away. And then when we talk about this variation, I still think we want to be, at least that's got to be our first question. That knight's got to go, son. He's got to go. All right, queen d2. Frisky. And now queen g4 happens. Queen g4 feels wrong because it's going to the wrong side of the board, right? He should be trying to mate you, and a really nice move here, or simple move, would be queen c4. We'll then follow it up with rook b1. We're touching this coconut, and this knight is so much worse than that knight. Oh, buddy. So this is a cheap threat. At this level, what we see a lot is people making cheap threats. I'm not sure about that. Just take the pound bows. Yeah, just take it. Okay. Cheap threat. Because you never know. Because you never know. Well, look, so with that cheap threat, and now you play rook d8, what's happened? White has gained a valuable tempo with g3. Right? You said earlier, in fact, you were defending h6 in this really wild way because you were like, well, maybe I'll castle later there and that'll be a Luft square. But you didn't castle there because after your structure got wrecked, you don't want to touch it, right? Anyways, this is definitely helping white. It was one of the key things he had to do was to fix his structure. Yeah, he should consider. This one is also playing a little bit for tricks. Okay, and now the trick pays off because you play a6. Yeah. So he now, yeah, a6. Honestly, maybe it's a genius level move because you do want to deal with queen b5, and you're absolutely right that queen a6 is a mistake. It'd be great to know how much we were thinking at this point. Let me just make sure someone's not yelling at me over here. Kostya's over here. Kostya's going to join us. Oh, Kraai, take this away. Open Zoomos. Hey, leave me alone. So, Kostya's going to join us in a second. And join with computer audio. He is here. A6 was actually setting up a mammoth trap. And I guess the variation would go queen c4, threatening. Still not threatening queen c6, but still not threatening that thing. Yeah. What's the point after queen a6? Oh, yeah. That would have been a nice one, dude. Yeah. Kostya, how you doing, boss?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, man. We're doing top of the club.
Yeah, I saw that. Hello, everybody.
Checkmate. So you guys, Kostya, I'm gonna grab his zoomies, and then I think. Here's a question, Kostya.
Hmm.
If you are gonna enter this game into the editor, I can't. I would either have to do it for you, or you would stream it yourself.
Yeah. Well, I've got the PGN if you want to just upload that in.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got. I don't know if it's like 100% correct because the game was a little maneuvery, but I think I got like 98% of it right, basically.
And
So people get the idea.
also, dog, what are these? Oh my. Sometimes people say I look angelic because the light behind me. It's not because I'm angelic. It's because there's light behind me.
Yeah,
Anyways, um, sometimes I can't see. It's like the afternoon sun. It's
we
kind of
could try to
shiny.
fix that. Basically, what I think you need to do is get to your camera settings and then turn the exposure down. I think that would, or it's like down, usually it's like -4, -5. So you go lower, like -6.
I got
Um,
a pro move here too. Watch this, Bounce. Watch this.
oh yeah, if you could.
Block the sun
Whoa.
out. I'm blocking it out, baby.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
I was thinking actually, for like when we do dojo talks, I've never done this, but like Zoom lets you set backgrounds, right? So I
Yeah,
could set some really annoying background in the back, make people
y-
angry.
you could, but they often look kind of funny. You got to be careful. You got to make sure it looks okay.
Yeah.
Because I hate when it like looks really, it just looks super artificial. It's like you're clearly using a background. And I don't like it.
Okay, so you're gonna see, Kostya's gonna send me this thing, and I'm gonna upload this
Yeah.
game. So we're gonna go games. Now here's what a little bit weird because I'm gonna submit it, but then it's not gonna be my actual game. In any case, I can always put it as unlisted or whatever, but we don't want it to be unlisted.
Yeah, you don't have to submit it, I think. This is like you can just play through it and then I can
Okay.
follow on stream. Or take you through it, obviously.
All right, so I'm gonna paste this thing, but we do need an annotated version of this bad boy, even though it's just a blitz
Oh,
game.
I'll annotate it. Yeah, I'll count it as a Blender game.
Okay, Kostya, before we go through this bad boy,
Yeah,
set us the scene, man. Set us the scene.
right. Okay, so this was yesterday in St. Louis, and what the St. Louis Chess Club does sometimes is that they just run these like kind of small, little like blitz and rapid events, and this was one of them. And so Caruana usually doesn't play. I don't know if he's ever played one like this small at the club, but they are often very strong. Like Benjamin Bach, he plays very often.
Right?
Varakobian, he plays. He's got a bunch of kids from like St. Louis University, a bunch of title players there. They sometimes come and play the Mizzou kids. So sometimes these tournaments, the first prize is like $500, but they can be very strong. Like lots of grandmasters. And this took place at the hotel, the Chase Park Plaza. So this wasn't at the St. Louis Chess Club
Huh, okay.
proper, but at the hotel, they sometimes run these like kind of smaller events. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. At first, it was like if at first it seemed like over half of the event was going to be like or like a majority of the event was going to be title players. I think over half definitely was like Fabi was there, Var, Benjamin, I was playing, Eric Rosen, Tadev, and then several players from SLU University that are also titled. And so it's like, yeah, very, very strong event. So this was round two. So in the first
Okay,
round,
wait, wait,
actually,
wait. So, what was? Do we have any sense of like what Fabi's motivation was to play in this thing?
I think just for fun, I mean, it's like the tournament is FIDE rapid rated. Actually, it's
Okay.
two tournaments. There's a rapid tournament followed by a blitz event.
And he did poorly in the blitz event too, right?
Yeah, I think he ended up losing to Dennis Boros,
Right, dude. What's
who
going
played the
on, man?
blitz. Dennis is good. I mean, he totally crushed me in the blitz. But I think he finished 4 out of 5. I think he finished out of the money in the blitz. It was a tough tournament.
And like, okay, so what I know about St. Louis is they have that kind of weekly 15-minute tournament. And so this
Yeah.
wasn't that, but it was its own special thing. It's not a weekly recurring thing.
Yeah, this is a bit bigger. I think they're gonna do this kind of one monthly.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they do these like smaller events every Friday and Saturday. I've played a few of those. Those usually aren't too strong because the prize fund for that is like it's like $40 for first place or something. So it's like really not a lot of money. Those are mainly for like the club players. Um, but yeah, these tournaments they'll do around once a month where it's like a bit heftier prize fund.
I you were frozen, so I'm now trying to do my best to unfreeze you.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's probably Zoom.
Okay, so this says you're here, but then it doesn't show you as here. Oh God. Okay, time out. Mouse, why are you killing me? Okay, hold on. Let's just start a new window. Boom. There you are. Tiny up there in the top. Tiny. And was it like a thing where somebody was like, "Hey, Kostya, come on down, boss. Fabi's playing." Or how did you get in? How did the invite to this thing even happen?
They emailed us out, like the club emailed just like a bunch of local players that
Yeah.
this was going to happen. So I emailed them that I was going to play. I didn't know if that Fabio was going to play
Right,
until the
right.
day of, I just showed up and he was there. It's like,
And was he pissed, dude? Was
no,
he?
actually, no, he
No.
wasn't. He didn't seem that pissed.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I mean,
And it,
we're friendly, we're on good terms.
yeah.
So I think,
What
but
is there
yeah.
video of the event?
There is video actually. So
Oh.
here's the funny thing. So Eric Rosen was there and
Yeah.
he was recording all of his games on board two. So they
Right.
gave him a dedicated board.
Yeah.
And then you can see me and Fabi play in the background because we were on board one. So you can actually see us in the background of his video. And then his game finished a little bit before ours did. So then you can actually see the end pretty well. So I'll probably edit that and post that at some point.
There you go. Okay. We'll just, tag Fabi a bunch and be like, "Hey, boss, welcome to the dojo." Now, my understanding is too, you
So
beat him
fun.
in a queen and rook thing. We're gonna check it out. But did you tell him about my video, dude, of the queen versus rook?
No, no, we didn't discuss the game.
You didn't tell him, dude. You didn't
No,
tell him about
because
the
it wasn't.
dojo.
Well, you'll see. It wasn't like a pure queen versus rook thing, but I did play it with a lot of confidence. And no, he knows about the dojo. You don't have to worry, it's Jesse. He's he's aware.
Because one thing actually funny is he's blown the bishop and rook versus rook so many times in his career. I'm like, dude, come to the dojo, spar it out, you know. Okay, tell us
I'm
about
sure he'll
this
be happy to take
this
you up on that.
Fisher choice here, bishop c4.
Okay, yeah. So, well, mainly I'm usually a D4 player.
Yeah.
I actually played Fabi once before in OTB chess. I've played him, I think, either once or twice in Title Tuesday. I played him once before OTB. There was this other rapid tournament held at the Mechanics Chess Club in San Francisco a couple of years ago that they hosted during the Pro Chess League finals that were taking place that weekend. So I actually got a chance to play him there. That game, I forget what the time control was. It might have been like a 15-minute game, but I also had white. I played D4, and he played the system with like D6 and early bishop F5. That's kind of tricky. That he plays a lot in Blitz. I basically I blundered a pawn early, and it was not not very difficult for him. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't really want to go into this variation because I hadn't. I mean, I had no idea what he was going to play. But just for example, if he just repeated that same line, I would again just kind of be lost and not know what to do. And so yeah, I felt like okay, let's play E4. I like E4. I feel like it's more fun. I've played E4 a lot less than I've played D4 and Knight F3. So I don't know. I find the positions a lot richer. Like I haven't burned them out in a sense. And okay, this specific choice against the Najdorf, this is just a line I saw like Magnus play this. I think he won a nice game against Keimer recently. So the idea is like E6, A4, and then it's kind of like a positional system. Like
Okay.
White's just trying to secure this pawn on A5 in every variation, and then just trying to get like a very small like structural edge. So it's kind of this trendy line. I don't know. I looked at it a little while ago. I did not
Okay.
prepare it at all for today, so I was just kind of completely. Man, I think I misplayed it pretty quickly actually, but yeah, that was the idea.
And I would say, like, just normally, like, dude plays more like e4, e5. He can do anything, but mostly e5, right? For
Yeah,
the
I thought he would go e5. I wasn't totally sure.
right,
I thought, okay, c5 is definitely possible as well. I don't know how much of my chess he knows. Like if he knows I'm mainly a d4 player or whatever. But
right, yeah.
yeah, against e4, e5, I was just gonna play the Italian game.
Now,
And actually, it was so funny. During the game, I was thinking like I based a lot of my e4, e5 repertoire off of his games, like what he does in the Italian.
uh
So
huh.
I'm just like just gonna be playing like what I assume is his like preparation against him. I don't know. I'm just like, oh man. I thought it was just kind of wild. I mean, I don't know. You're kind of busted no matter which variation you enter. I feel like it's
So,
hard.
my just help me out here. So my understanding of this position from the Fisher days to now is after the normal castles, there's some kind of queen b6 that's really annoying now, right? Is that
I have really little knowledge here actually on the details.
okay?
I thought black is often maybe going like knight d7, knight c5, or maybe b5 and then knight d7, knight c5.
I mean, there's all those things. I just thought it was like a computer thing. Figured out that it was like, there was a way to push the knight to b3 with queen b6, and then it was really annoying. Anyways,
Oh
that's
yeah,
all I kind of
I don't know
remember
about that.
about that. Okay, so here we go.
Mhm.
A4. Maybe that's you didn't even know about it, but that's the point of your A4. Maybe I don't know. All right, bishop E7, castles,
Yeah.
castles. All right.
Yeah, so bishop e3, queen c7, queen e2, knight
And
c6, yeah.
oh, and interesting. You made an interesting choice here with taking.
Yeah, so this is kind of the point of the system is that white tries to take and then push a5.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I misplayed it because I'm kind of not in time. Because I take and he takes with the pawn, and
Right.
then if I pushed a5 right away, then I was a little bit worried about d5. And I think black gets a very comfortable game if he gets d5 in here.
So let's just imagine like D5. I don't know, bishop D3.
Yeah. Um, I would think like either c5 or bishop b7, maybe just c5.
Here you could play pop, pop, and bishop F4. I don't know how to evaluate that, but you do have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure either during the game.
But isn't it the case though that if you're when you play bishop F4, now we can say black is fully in control, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he equalized here. I was kind of expecting maybe like c5 and then I would go a5 and then I think white can maybe play that structure, but yeah, I think what he does is because he gets e5 and I have to go back and then he gets a5 and 2, which
Right,
is that seems very important.
right. He did liberate your bishop though, so you got that out of it.
Yeah.
Look at you, nice and this is how you beat people. You're just nice and calm. No need to go crazy. We'll just
Well, yeah,
play
I mean,
h3.
I'm not gonna get an opening advantage against Fabiano Caruana, like so I just gotta get the pieces out. But here he definitely starts outplaying me, like Rook B4, or at least I had actually very little idea what to do, so I started like spending lots of time, and then he's just kind of making moves relatively quickly, and I'm burning like 30 seconds, a minute every move, trying to not blunder anything.
No, this is a good move. Bishop C1.
Yeah.
He pushes, makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, Now with this
Yeah.
one,
So
there's
Bishop
a question.
C1.
There is a question here after D5, which is what would happen on Bishop A3.
Yeah, so I spent some time here and I was thinking about Bishop A3 and there's like maybe some dynamic opportunities that Black has, but also thought even if he just pulls his rook back,
Right,
I didn't see anything special for me here. I wasn't even sure if I want to trade these bishops.
right. And the thing we'll note for the thing yet because of knight G3.
Right.
That looks correct.
Yeah, so I get out of that with queen d3, and then he drops back rook bb8.
Okay, so critical moment where where you are about to fix your knight.
Hmm.
At least it's going to do something, right? So this is the moment for him because rook b. After you get knight e2, then I don't know. I feel like we can dream of your survival.
Yeah, that definitely made me feel better during the game that I got this in. Though it's still hard to like find moves for white, like where to put the queen or because I really can't touch any pawns. I feel like if I push c4, it's very weakening, and I'm not clear. It's hard to move the rooks, it's hard to move the bishop, so I don't even know what to do. So he just starts kind of improving his position next couple moves, and yeah, I have to like burn more time. Yeah, just trying to find moves that don't ruin my position, basically.
So let's say we start with this one.
Hmm. Yeah, then probably I was thinking queen a6.
Okay. Now the good news is our rook is feeling pretty invulnerable. It's either bishop g3 or knight g3, right? I don't know which one yet. One of those moves.
Yeah, but I didn't really see anything clear as to how I'm in any huge trouble. Mainly just like it just felt like a very unpleasant position to play because I don't have a lot of active moves.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay, let me just give a check and see. We're gonna see what happens here.
Check probably king g1.
Good. I think h1. After I move the bishop, you have to worry more about that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
And now knight f4 looks reasonable.
Yeah.
And so the intention is if you snippo, I'll snippo, and on knight e2, I'll have bishop e3 check, and then I'll move the rook away. Maybe I'll take, I don't know which one.
Yeah.
Oh, but you could just play knight e2 here. That's a bummer for
Oh.
me.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
yeah.
I didn't see that at first. Okay, this yeah. So
Hmm.
he's running into a little. He's like he's got. Honestly, in some ways, this is how to beat a higher rate opponent. Like it's like you got a bad position, but you are not toast. You aren't toast, and they're like, this guy's got to go down, and then they can't. Then it's impossible. Hard, not impossible, but it's hard to find what they should be doing.
True. Actually, yeah. I mean, I don't know how good this was, but when I played f3, you just go back to that moment.
Yeah.
I did feel like if I'm losing after f3,
Uh
then
huh.
it's something like really tactical he has to calculate and find, like knight h5, some knight g3 stuff. Whereas my other option in the position, because the e pawn is hanging, is to like take on d5. But I feel like if I play that, his position is just so easy to play that it's just like his moves just come very, very quickly. So I was kind of thinking with f3, like, okay, at least he has to like calculate and he'll have to spend time to try to find something concrete. Though I didn't objectively see anything that's so dangerous here. But yeah, I've been on the other side of this many times where I feel like strategically I'm better, and then yeah, don't I kind of mess up when I'm trying to win.
All right. Let's just try to understand what's going on. Let's say I give you a check.
Hmm.
I'm gonna guess
Probably go to
H2.
h2.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then if I just touch your coconut a little bit.
Yeah. let's say bishop goes to it's not simple. Let's say d2.
I think you got to go d2.
Yeah. And then the next move for white's maybe like bishop e1, depending. Or moving the knight. Moving the knight might be something.
Yeah, so here too, there's no clear path for dude to knock you out. Okay, no, it's hard. Not easy for dude to figure it out. I'm sure the computer will find something, but the point is, my friends, with a little time, this beautiful looking position for black is not so easy to figure out how to put Kostya away.
I think it's like 8 minutes versus 5 here, something like that, with me having 5.
Okay. And, you know, the poor guy is like, I'm playing this chump from the dojo. It's supposed to be easy. Okay, so he goes back, and now I feel like you're not doing so bad anymore. I think we can make an argument, maybe you're not even worse anymore. I at least don't know.
Yeah, it still felt tough to play here. Like he puts the rook on d8.
That can't be bad.
I go bishop e3. He goes h6.
That looks like the move of a dude without a plan. Right? What is he doing with h6? I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've gotta find moves as well.
Okay, so you give him a little tickle. I like that.
Yeah, this is the moment where, let's say, I'm not 100% sure about like the move order, but basically this is what happened.
I see.
Yeah, he played rook a8.
Okay, and you were like, I'm just going back, Bo. I'm just going back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, we're just hanging. We're just hanging now. Oh, that's good. And look at this, my friends. Kostya Kos against Fabi Caruana plays the infamous knight h1.
I was proud of this move. I thought this is a nice move.
I don't say it's a bad move. I'm just saying you had the nuts to play it against Fabi, dude.
I was, yeah, that did cross my mind.
There it is, my friends.
Yeah.
Knight h1. No respect. No respect for Fabi. Are you playing the candidates? You're just a chump. Are you kidding me? Okay, so now queen f7. Now wait a second though. Would and I guess when you play knight f1, you're saying that if I try to talk to you over here, you're gonna play queen a6 again?
Yeah, so honestly, I hadn't totally figured out what I'm doing here. But yeah, I think queen a6. But maybe the other rook is better.
Right. It's unsatisfying though to play this rook because we had that half open file.
Yeah, but I wasn't totally sure how I'm gonna deal with this because I do have a problem with the e-pawn.
Right.
So yeah, I mean there might be some tactics with like maybe like queen e2 and then there's some maybe queen c4 stuff. But yeah, I hadn't totally calculated it.
You could accept the fact that things don't always go our way and play knight g3, de, queen c4. You didn't want to though, buddy. You wanted the dojo to get some respect. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that looked like at least it would put you with a question after this miraculous knight h1.
Right.
I can see, Fabi sometimes raises his eyebrow a little bit. That's the most he ever gives. He might have raised his eyebrow just a little bit on knight h1.
I didn't glance up at this point. I should have looked up to try to catch.
So here he's like, I'll just bring my queen over. Now he goes this way.
But this is definitely where things, I don't know, they start to feel quite difficult again. Because he gets queen g6 and now... now the e-pawn is the problem again.
Okay, so here you're about to lose a pawn, I guess.
Yeah, and I forget why exactly I didn't want to just go like bishop c1. Maybe bishop c5 or something was a problem.
But also he's going to have knight h5, right?
Oh yeah, knight h5 is coming. Yeah, exactly. Because earlier knight h5 I would meet that with king h2, but now that's not working anymore.
So this
so knight h5 is a big problem.
But this is cool because here you're saying you can win a pawn, but I am going to get, or rather you, Fabi, are going to get some nasty pawns.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like, yeah, it's totally terrible, but I don't know. I didn't think it's gonna work out necessarily.
Uh-huh.
Because here e takes f3. I don't know if this was right, but yeah, I had a strong urge to take with the rook here. Because I was thinking with the pawn, he goes h5 quickly, and my king just feels extremely weak.
Yep, that
With
makes sense to
rook,
me.
somehow it felt safer,
Yeah,
keeping the g pawn closer.
you're trying to be
The king.
dynamic, yeah. I understand rook f3, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so rook f3, he goes king h7. And here, actually, I don't have a lot of time left at all. I think I'm under a minute at this point, and he's got like 4 or 5 minutes. So it feels bad. And he goes king h7, which is actually a very tricky move because if he plays e4 in this position, I go rook f4.
Right.
But after king h7, my instinct was to play king h2, but then e4 rook f4 runs into bishop d6.
Very
So
clever,
I no longer have this. So, okay, I don't have a lot of time to kind of overthink things. I just pushed g5 because it looked like I can trade off my weakness, try to open up his king a bit.
yeah. There you go,
Originally, the
buddy.
intention was actually to go rook g3 after he goes hg5.
Uh-huh.
But then I thought, why not throw in the check? His king is more vulnerable on g8 than on
Uh-huh.
h7. And then when he plays king g8, suddenly I realized, oh, I have this bishop g5, queen takes
There we
e6
go,
trick.
buddy. Let's just show people. If Fabi takes the bishop, check to the miserable king. Checkmate. Oh, man. I bet Fabi was like, this was supposed to be easy. I didn't know I was facing the dojo. What's this? What's this? Oh, man.
Yeah, so here is where it's like, oh, hold on. Like I definitely starting to feel optimistic because rook is hanging. I have queen h4 coming, which is pretty annoying for black. And then the attack is actually very straightforward. It's like queen h4, queen h8, rook f3. The king is in a lot of danger, it seems. So yeah, he started spending some time. Um, and yeah, I realized he doesn't have a simple solution. Like rook d4, I just go queen takes c6, and he
Right.
still has the same issues with his king. So
All right, so he gives you a check.
yeah, he's all of a sudden has to figure out some problems.
And now he makes let's call this a natural move, bishop d6.
Right.
If I were black here, maybe the first instinct would be this bad boy.
Hmm.
Now, there's questions still, though, like, am I getting hosed with that? I don't know. Things have become complicated. Things get a little hot. I don't know.
Oh boy. Well, minimum there's like queen h5 check.
Yeah, good.
Um,
That's important. Yeah. Well,
oh,
but
but then actually sorry, rook h3, right? And then I still can't take on g5.
you still can't take. Yeah.
So
Okay, so let's
it's
just.
still messy. Yeah.
But rook d3 would be the only move after bishop d2, right?
Okay, bishop d2 is not on my mind at all. What about you're probably right. I would think about maybe taking on d2, taking on c6. Yeah,
Okay.
actually that's not clear, right?
Let's give it a look.
Some problems.
And now he makes let's call this a natural move, bishop d6.
Right.
If I were black here, maybe the first instinct would be this bad boy.
Hmm.
Now, there's questions still, though, like, am I getting hosed with that? I don't know. Things have become complicated. Things get a little hot. I don't know.
Oh boy. Well, minimum there's like queen h5 check.
Yeah, good.
Um,
That's important. Yeah. Well,
oh,
but
but then actually sorry, rook h3, right? And then I still can't take on g5.
you still can't take. Yeah.
So
Okay, so let's
it's
just.
still messy. Yeah.
But rook d3 would be the only move after bishop d2, right?
Okay, bishop d2 is not on my mind at all. What about you're probably right. I would think about maybe taking on D2, taking on C6. Yeah,
Okay,
actually that's not clear, right?
let's give it a look. Okay, so you see Kostya's doing some magic here. Oh yeah, maybe that isn't clear. Holy smokies. Um, yeah, no, that's a good point. Okay. So yeah, let's go back. He's got problems to solve, dude. He's
Yeah,
got some
exactly.
questions to
I was very
solve.
surprised during the game. I was like, oh my God, I have some chances.
Yeah, poor guy. He seemed like he was doing everything right, putting you away, and now this is happening. Oh God. So bishop d6 looks natural. Queen
Yeah,
h4. And now he probably wanted to play e4 here, but he didn't.
right. So I think, yeah, E4, bishop F4, and it seemed like, yeah, he rejected this one.
But here he's okay, so let's think about it. So
Because I
you're
think if the bishops come off, I feel like it actually becomes easier for white to play because I have so many more checks now against this king. So I felt like black should try to avoid trading the bishops, but
now let's say
I don't
this
know.
would be a tricky move, but then you could play rook g3. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Hmm.
And the
Or
problem
queen d8 was also an option. I don't know if queen d8
oh,
was any good.
I have to admit I didn't really look at queen d8. Uh yeah, at the minimum
And
you're
queen
okay.
d8,
Yeah,
white gets a draw. Yeah, and I'm
at
definitely
least a
at
draw,
this
yeah.
point, I mean, I'm still super happy with the draw.
So yeah, he's got this back rank problemito over here. It still feels like e4 feels right. I don't know. Okay,
Hmm.
he plays rook f1, and then he is saying that there's no rook f3, and then when e4 comes, he's still going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So that certainly makes sense. But then you come in and say, well, at the dojo, they taught us this maneuver.
Yeah, I found kind of, yeah, miracle resource here because I think I'm definitely under 30 seconds at this point. Um, but I just find this move, yeah, I like it's multi-purpose move, defends the bishop, hits his bishop, and I threaten queen d7 check, which is annoying. Um, and yeah, he ends up going e4, which to me felt like a bailout decision. Because I was definitely, I was thinking he was going to look for just kind of more complicated defense, like if he can make it work, like some bishop f8 or some move like that. But it's very dangerous because I'm also threatening rook h8 in the
Yeah.
position, and he has no checks. My pieces are coming in.
I think, honestly, bishop f8, rook h8, what is he even supposed to do?
I no, that could be game over. Yeah, yeah. For
Yeah, poor
instance,
dude, man.
so
Did you apologize at least after, dude?
at the end, actually, I might have. He asked me if I felt
All
bad.
right, so you boom, boom. Check to the miserable king. Check to the
Yeah. Now
miserable
we get
king.
heavy piece endgame. Yeah, give this check. And
Oh, that's clever. That's clever, king g6. So Fabi's saying rook g3, rook h1. That's dirty.
right. And you know what? I definitely felt like King G6, like I don't know, it almost felt like he like blundered Rook G3, like blundered in quotes.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to give that, I don't know. But yeah, I was expecting King F5. On King F5, I was very unclear. But at this point, I didn't have a lot of time to really to think. So I was just kind of, yeah, looking at just quick moves
But
essentially.
queen, you got, okay, hold on. You have queen f8,
Yeah.
and then he's
Queen F6, I think,
got to play queen
is
f6,
forced.
and then you got this. Oh, wait a second. So hold on. So, right. So if queen c5, maybe dude survives with king g6. Oh, excuse me,
No,
queen
Queen
e5
C5,
check.
there's,
Queen
yeah,
e5 check. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so queen f8, maybe not queen f8. Okay.
So yeah, it's super complicated here. I was worried he's gonna get out of checks, and then I don't know what's going on. His e pawn is of
He
course
was he was
strong.
he was playing for a dirty trick. King G6. Look at that. He Now I'm assuming he was in pretty good time pressure too, but you guys each got like 3 seconds to move, right?
There's 3 seconds. Yeah, at this point he's almost caught up with me, or very close to it, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait.
because he had to spend a lot of time earlier.
I got a dumb question. So on King F5, you can also take this thing. That might be what he's concerned about.
Yeah, yeah, true. That's also a move. Yeah, of course.
Now the party continues, right? Maybe E5. And but it's really hard to say what's happening. Oh my gosh! And White has I feel like 1,000 different moves. Like worst
Yeah,
case scenario, I can play Queen C3 or something. I don't know.
Queen C3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like things are unclear, but both
Yeah.
kings are still kind of funny.
Okay, so this isn't just playing for a trap. He's trying to hold his A pawn. And then, oh, that must have been a hard little momentito. Oh, buddy. So now,
Yeah.
if Rook F7, there's no Rook G3 will work because no
Right.
Rook H1. Oh, buddy.
Exactly.
And then King F6, then you just go and win the Rook.
I've got the skewer. Right.
Oh, buddy. Nice. Now, was it like, no, probably not, but the game wasn't recorded anyway? It wasn't like a DGT board or something like that? No, okay.
Well, it was a DGT board, but it wasn't turned on.
Man, hey, St. Louis, turn it on next time, buddy. We want the times and everything. All right, now we're going to see Kostya's technique. Now, by
Then
the
I
way,
found Rook H5. Yeah.
my dear friends, I just want to tell you guys real quick that I deserve full credit for this victory because me and Kostya, I sparred this out with Kostya, even though right now he's going to make his life a lot harder on himself. I sparred this out with Kostya. Oh, man. And right here, he could win the rook, but he doesn't do it. Oh, Kostya. Look at that.
Oh, I had queen. Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Now, by the way, you guys, this might not be the exact score because Kostya had to reconstruct.
No, this is the position. This was definitely the position.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't see that queen. Look, Jesse, like things were so blurry, and I had like 5 seconds here, right?
No, you don't have to
And
feel
now at
bad
this
about
point, I play Rook H5, and it's like, okay, I realize I'm winning. Now it's not like, oh, it's unclear, maybe I have chances. Now it's like, no, I have to win the game.
Yeah.
Like no more draw, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it was very nerve-wracking. And no, main thing I was thinking is just like keep giving checks and don't let this pawn push from an e4.
Were you in full
Just do-
freak out mode, dude? Was it full freak out?
I was pretty nervous, but I could still calculate. Like you'll see, I feel like I found some precise moves, I want to
Okay.
say. I didn't see Queen F7. That was my bad.
Well, I think one of the funny things actually about playing Fabi is if you were playing a lower rated player, you'd probably see it, but you probably like trusted Fabi. He's not gonna hang his rook, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
so but you'd be like, oh, he might have hung a pawn, and that he did. Check the
Yeah, I was
visual.
definitely just trying not to flag. That was kind of the first because now I get 3 seconds, so I don't need to find precise moves, was what I was thinking. It's like I just need to not flag and get some time on the clock. And here I built up a bit of time, so here it was, yeah.
Like, oh, look at that. He can't even put
But you
his-
see he can't push the pawn and then give the check.
Oh, there it is, buddy. Welcome to the dojo.
Yeah. This one I found very quickly. Yeah, that was lights out.
Boss, we're gonna clip that and then turn this into a vid, man.
Yeah, we should totally. I was
Bobby,
gonna
if
maybe
you're gonna
just
win
do
the candidates, it's gonna have to be a little better than that, buddy. Welcome to the dojo.
Thank you. So Jesse, I do think that the queen versus rook training helped because I don't know, I just felt like I did feel very confident in this situation that like the queen is just gonna
Yeah.
dominate. I did draw a queen versus rook position once that was completely winning with pawns on the board in a classical game. That was before we did our training.
Right.
And I only had 30 seconds. I had to like play it out on the increment and it was tricky, but like nowadays I think I would win that game for sure.
Yeah, you did it with 3 seconds. No, 3 seconds. 30 seconds. Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
okay,
great.
not like greatest game ever. I feel like This is actually a typical game that I often lose on the black side, where I like outplay my opponent, I get like a big advantage, then somehow it gets tricky, they get counterplay, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden, I'm losing.
Yeah, dude, that was great.
But yeah, yeah, we'll take those. We'll take it.
Definitely the
We just
highest.
get her.
Well, yeah, it's got to be the highest rated player you ever beat, boss. 28 something. Oh my God. I think he's
Yeah.
28. Yeah, he's 28.
I mean, okay, it's rapid. It's the biggest blitz and rapid win for sure. I don't think it really counts much at all for classical, unfortunately.
Fabi is
Uh,
2804 in
Dang.
classical. Blitz, the dude is 2790. Rapid, he's way down there, 2729. He's always had, that's been the knock on Fabi. He's not good at rapid. But his blitz is, 2790. That's no chump rating. Yeah,
Yeah, I
fantastic,
mean, he
dude.
was like was he a medalist in the or he's like almost always medaling in the world blitz and rapids. So yeah.
I think too, man. When we put this vid out, we gotta find that video footage, and we'll sync it. We'll sync it at the end, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll put some in. Eric sent me the whole thing, so I'll just have to clip it up.
Nice, dude. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's
but
genius,
yeah,
man.
no, it was fun. Unfortunately, so after this game, I then drew the next game against Talia Cervantes. I
Mm-hmm.
was probably losing. And then I lost the last round to Benjamin Bach. We were playing for first place. He had 3 out of 3. I had 2.5. I thought maybe he was gonna like offer me a draw or something because like it clinches first for him, but
Yeah.
no draw was offered and he just beat me.
Yeah.
Beat me down.
And then you guys, was there another? Then there was a blitz. Was there a second tournament after that? It seemed like there was
Yeah.
also a blitz tournament. Yeah.
Then right after there was a Blitz event. Blitz didn't go as well for me. I won the first game, then I lost to Dennis Boros. Then I lost another game playing down, and then I won the last two. So I finished with 3 out of 5. So it wasn't like terrible. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
think I ended up getting a prize for the Blitz,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a small. I think I won like $75.
Yeah.
So
Oh, dude, Abdul
um,
saying I would say a lot of nasty stuff. I would say, Fabi, welcome to the dojo, and I'd say we got a spot, buddy, for you in the 2,800 plus cohort.
well,
That's already got your name on it, buddy. 2,800 plus cohort for Fabi, dude.
sure he'll take us up on that.
He needs to be practicing, man. Oh God, that's amazing.
And then Bach won everything. He won both the Rapid and the Blitz.
Well, he's kind of specializing in that. Even before COVID, he was always winning that 15-0 tournament. He like does that every week. That's his jam.
Mm, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, very good. He's very good.
So maybe you're gonna get an invite to one of these, some more of these Blitz events, huh? That's great, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, next one that will be coming up is after the American Cup. They always do a Blitz tournament where all the players play.
Oh, nice, dude.
So I'm hoping to be able to play that one as well.
Your move to St. Louis is paying off, dude. It is paying
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So also just play this like local event. Yeah, all these players show up.
That's fantastic. Well, Fabi, what do you want to do? Fabi, I called you Fabi, bud. That's what happened because you
Wow,
took his soul. You took his soul, and now you're
I'm the new
inhabiting.
five now.
You're inhabiting Fabi, man.
Yeah, now I feel pumped. I mean, like, okay, obviously it's like a rapid game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that was very unexpected, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and there's rapid, so it's not like, it's slower than Blitz. Um, I don't know, it gives some confidence. I feel like yeah, I got some more chess in me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Ah, that's great. You want to
And
do
I played
it?
E4. That's what's so funny, man. I'm like not even an E4 player. I played E. So this has to prove that openings just do not matter at all. Right? I play E4, just still get outplayed in the opening
Yeah.
and
I listened to your
yeah.
podcast today, and you were like Kraai and David are gonna hate me, but openings matter more than they used to. Well, look at this, Kostya. They don't matter at all.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We were talking about classical chess, but yeah.
You want to do top of the? You want to do one or two top of the clubs with me?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if there's more,
Yeah,
let's
we
take a
got more.
look.
Okay, man. Let's get into this. So I did the UK one. We just did pepper chess, and we're about to do Mississippi, which is really cool because Jerry Mack, excuse me, is in the chat. And Jerry Mack, dude, he went through a period of crisis, and I met him at the Charlotte, and he actually gave up for a second. He was like, "Bows, I'm not good enough for the dojo. I'm not good enough for the dojo. I quit."
That's ridiculous.
But
Everyone's good enough.
he came back. He came back. So
Dojo's
he
a place
returned.
you go to improve.
But there's moments of I think actually I would say this is it's a jovial time because you just won and it's a period of celebration. But I'll say in a serious, somber note, like everyone has these moments, Fabi too, where it didn't go well, and then you either quit or you have you use it as a character building moment. Yeah, and so there it is, Jerry. You got you can still do this, Bows. You can still do it. So right, he fell way down below his cohort. I get it. That it hurts, and I would say if you don't make it back in a couple cycles, maybe a year, then just unpromote yourself. Don't even feel any shame in it. All right, let's take a look at his activity here. Dude's doing some work. Look at that, Bows. Look at that. And
Nice.
so let's click around again. We got some tactics.
Can we see
mates,
the latest activity?
Sure, we can look at the activity. Yeah.
What's the most recent?
Updated annotated games played, did some work with Coach T, reviewed with a minus. Great, dude. The tactics time. This dude is doing it. Mates in 2, there we go.
Fantastic. Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry, you just got to keep doing the work, and then
Yeah.
it will come.
And now, Jerry,
gotta
me and
put
Kostya are going to
the
say
reps
some
in.
really mean things about your games.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, this dude, Arboria, is also in the program. So this is part of the Dojo Classical. Arboria's been I think Arboria is Dojo 1.0. He's been around for a long time. Oh, here we go.
I didn't realize, we have this dynamic of the typical American Idol show where we have the Simon Cowell or the Gordon Ramsay, the mean British guy.
Uh-huh.
That's you, Jesse. That's your role. Then we have the really sweet, nice person, which is David. And then I feel like I'm kind of in between. I feel like I can go both routes.
Nah, David can be mean, dude. You're the sweet, nice person. You're Hufflepuff, buddy. I'm
David's
Slytherin.
never mean to students though. He's always super supportive.
I'm usually pretty nice, dude, to the students, But in the podcast, dude, you're always just tone it down, just tone it down. Okay, so here we go. So far, we're playing both sides playing GM moves. I've played this knight G7 myself. One cool thing about knight G7 is it avoids a lot of the problems associated with Queen B6 in the famous, easy system against the French. So this is fine. And I'm not going to talk deep theory. There's possible to talk deep theory. But in this position, what I will say is bishop f5, there's nothing technically wrong with him. But if you are interested in a dynamic position, what I give for the repertoire is bishop e3.
You give up the other bishop, potentially.
Right, and then it's an interesting dynamic because the f file opens and we secure our weak point. Now, I think the computer, if I remember, prefers bishop f5, but bishop e3 will get us a position that's easier to understand. I played this position many times as black, and it's very hard for white players to understand what they have to do here. And I would actually get it. I played, I don't know, probably thousands of games with blitz games and classical. where I played knight h6 here. And this is the old move that Vaganian played, and then we're going to transpose into this stuff. And Vaganian was the first one to pioneer this setup. Okay, so castles. Already the first move that maybe can't be wrong, but it indicates maybe a lack of knowing what to do. The plan generally here that's, super GMs play is like h4, intending that if bishop e7 will want to trade off the good bishop his good bishop on f8, and then also to set up like a blockade on the dark squares with knight e2, knight f4. And then the king can sit. Maybe he'll scooch, maybe he'll castle, but there's no rush for the king. That's obviously, though, if you don't know about it, this is what I mean with the bishop e3 move being easier to play than this. So castles, bishop e7, knight e2. Okay, now, so the problem is now black can aim for, in some positions, g5 even. That's why h4 is kind of a critical move. And the dream of the black position is always to play f4 to free the beast. And I should just say it's not just me and, it's just really the originator of the prisoner metaphor was Josh Friedel. We did this at the GM house, and the prisoner metaphor is this bad bishop, man. He's a prisoner, but if he gets set free, that's just the thing about prisoners. When they get out, they're angry, dude, Dangerous beasts. And part of the reason, it took us a while to kind of formulate, like we saw it in so many examples. We're like, oh yeah, this prisoner is angry and he's out. And one of the reasons is first of all, in this position, he's an unopposed bishop. But also you're not, in this particular circumstances, you're not thinking about covering the light squares, right? But once that thing gets out, buddy, oh, damn. All right, here we go. Castles, bishop f4, right? And that's incorrect because black could have now really spanked you with g5.
Yeah.
But black didn't understand that and played f6. Bad move. Bad move. And what f6 does is a lot of bad things for black. Now you are guaranteed to be able to fight for this square, to use it. You talk about rook e1. I think that's a fine-looking move. And you give this variation, and you're better. You are just better. A simple move here would be knight f4. And now the prisoner is very upset. Rightly so. This position I would call strategically lost for black. For example, here, Kripos, Krapos, and Propos, and this, they're not going to live through this. As a longtime French player, I can tell you this ain't what he wanted. Ain't what he wanted.
Yeah, okay. I think f6 definitely a huge mistake.
Yeah. So, a3. Now, I'm going to yell at you about time there. What are we doing, Bose? What are we doing? Yeah. So that's just losing time. And rook e1 for sure. Black is losing time. So
rook e1, are we worried about bishop b4 maybe? That was the issue?
Maybe that's what he was concerned about. Black was like, I'm going to do it too. It's like, I'm going to do it too. By the way, if we are worried about rook e1, he doesn't put it, though, in his notes. One of the cool things about bishop b4 is we do want to trade that thing off, and bishop d2, at least optically, looks like it makes a lot of sense to me because I want to trade that thing, and I want my beast to come to f4 to punish.
Yeah, it's really of course the knight that wants to go to f4, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Chessable wants me to do a course, a new course. I did the one called It's About Time, and they've proposed I do one called Time to Do What. That would be the next course, maybe a little bit more for intermediate players. And it's
nice.
Precisely this kind of position where both players are just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's hard. You got to think about what's going on and stuff, right? And I think for one, if you don't know, first of all, then default to development. Rook e1, even rook c1. You're going to do better than some pawn move. And same thing for black. It just makes no sense to play a6.
Hmm.
All right, so rook c1. Okay. If queen e3 works, I'm into it. I have a question about it, but I think it does work. So a5, no one knows. One tactic we just want to check is here knight e5, and I think it works for you because you get this nice pin action. So like rook c8, yeah, it's gonna work because they give us a check, we take with the pawn, and then both of these coconuts are hanging. Wait, let's slow it down. Bishop takes, queen takes, rook e8. It's complicated.
Hmm.
So this is a lot of times me and Kostya yell at people. We're like, the tactics are in your own games. You don't need no fancy books, buddy. And so knight e5 is a real Kostyatsky over here. That would, like I said, I saw it right away. I was like, queen e3 is the right positionally. I just don't know if it's the right move. And then it's all about this
Yeah, 95
evaluating
would be
95.
very tricky. I mean, it's very interesting. You could also maybe try DE for white,
Good question.
and
Yeah.
then rook C2,
Look at this. We can even play
knight
knight
ED4.
ED4. That's a family
Yeah.
fork, as they like to say. That would be a nice one. Tactics are everywhere, my friends. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I think we might have found a solution to our Kwestyatskis. Okay, so A5. No one knows. Time to do what? It's time to do something. Good. And that's just a simple and good move, my friend. You know, you're just occupying that square. The bishop on F7's upset. Good. No one knows. No one knows. Arboria, buddy, you gotta stop giving away time. They don't listen. Knight c3. Now, do I like this?
Yeah.
I don't know about knight c3. You're blocking your rook. The knight kind of wants to go here. So like a simple plan, especially if you're just playing a game, you don't have much time left or something. Oh, Kostya, look at this. We got times. I didn't see it at first. We got times. Look at this beautiful time graph. Oh, buddy.
Nice.
Hey, Jerry. Earth to Jerry. We know where your improvement is, buddy. You're going too fast. Look at that. He just stopped thinking around move. Well, maybe he's winning on move 32, but right around here, he's got low. Like, this is a difficult move, knight c3. It's a difficult move. The positional
Yeah.
approach.
No, I think generally pretty good time management, like 40 minutes.
No, I mean, this. What do you mean? Look at this. Knight c3 plays it. Just a couple moves. This is blocking our coconuts.
Yeah.
Anyways, a lame-o, like an old man way to play the position would be here, 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 and I don't care how he takes. We'll put this bad boy here, and then next our knight comes in. And then we're just doing great. Are we absolutely winning? I don't know, but we're just doing great.
Yeah.
So knight c3. Holy coconuts.
Whoa, tactics.
Now this one freaks me out because you're turning the prisoner into a very, very angry man. Whew. Dang. Now I'm confused. So at first, I thought the idea was knight c6 with some kind of queen takes e7. But the idea is apparently knight d7. But after knight d7, I don't get it, Kostya. Like, we could just play like queen d8, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think white doesn't really get enough
yeah, and this
material
thing,
here.
look at how angry it is. It's just it went from a prisoner. I didn't plan this to be a lecture on the angry prisoner, but that's the he's angry now.
And
Look at
I
that
mean, it's
thing.
almost, yeah, actually, I think that's a wooden shield, if I understand the term correctly.
Ooh, Kostya
Yeah.
did that. Now I'm not up on the millennial terminology, dude. What does that really mean with the wooden shield?
I think a wooden shield, is like a good bishop that does work in all four diagonals.
You're just making that up, dude.
No, I think that's the definition. It comes from XQC. Naka has since picked it up, but yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh, from the PogChamps and XQC like said it offhand, and now it's become a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. XQC had his own all kinds of lingo because he just
Okay.
he needs to understand the game in his own terminology. Yeah, he wasn't happy with the typical, blockade, zugzwang. He
Uh-huh.
needed his own kind of terms.
Well, this now you're definitely better. Yeah, now you're
So it kind
crushing
of
it.
worked out. Yeah, we won all the rooks.
And it was right around here. So dude blundered on. Let's just see here, because this was a big decision for Arboria, and he did it instantly. He's like, "I see a pawn, bows. I see a pawn." He didn't see that this knight was pinned. Yep. Okay, so now we got him. Welcome to the
Yeah,
dojo.
complicated position.
Uh-oh. Now,
Rick, do you want? Oh, that was way too fast.
that was way too
Way
fast,
too
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, and you got to slow down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This position, totally winning. But right, we need to. The bishops can still be a little annoying. We got to deal with it. So, how bad did it go? King F1 definitely is more natural.
Hmm.
Oh my God, the milk has gone bad here. F3. This, by the way, now I think has turned into a very interesting position.
Yeah, now that's really interesting.
I don't know. I can't tell you what's happening here. My first question is, why isn't black taking on B2? Is there a reason?
I don't know. Maybe some tunnel vision.
If But H5, what are we doing? What is H5? Time to do what? It's not time to play H5. You don't need H5.
Well, I think he
All right.
wants like H4, H3,
Well, but we're just gonna
counterplay.
play H. We could play H3 now if we wanted to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
All
But
right,
H3, maybe knight takes H3. Ah, okay, rook D5. So, I
that's
don't know.
fine.
It's not working.
Okay.
D3.
Now we're making some progress. They'll just take it. Thank you. Ah, now we're wiping him up. There we go, buddy. All these chump threats aren't gonna do nothing now.
It feels like it was a little bit easier for the rooks to play in this game.
Well, especially easier with moves like H5. If it was Bishop B2, I don't know how easy it would be.
Then less so. Yes.
All right, this looks like a cheap move because after King G2, I don't see where this knight's going. Thank you.
But wait, so
Oh, I like King
there was
H1.
no rook D3 there?
Uh,
Bishop A4. I guess we're not quite
oh, I see. You want to play
in
Rook D3
time.
here. I want to take that pawn. I want to say thank you very much. And, you know, you're moving too fast with this King H1. But I don't. Oh, no. King H1 is terrible because Bishop D5. Yeah. You're trying to get out of the way, and I appreciate that. So, Jerry, listen. It's a simple process. You got to tell us, or, in your annotations, say what you should have done. Is it King F2? Is it King G3? King G3 looks like the natural move. We might want to still talk about it after, say, Knight F5. Might still be a little complicated. But that's what we got to do for the annotations. Oh my gosh, now this happens. And again, we should do some annotations. It's clearly gotten loosey-goosey over here, right? But is it... The annotation should talk about whether this was absolutely necessary, this Rook D5 thing. Because Rook B6 is also a thought. Now, this is another interesting endgame.
Mm-hmm. One is definitely not clear.
Good. Oh, now we're running. Now it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go, Jerry. Welcome to the dojo, buddy. Maybe next time he'll take some time. Good. Now, one of the things in the higher cohorts is to trap the knight. So you're doing fine with King E5, but more ideal would be to ask yourself, is there a way that we can trap this board. I was going to call him a jerk face, but I didn't. Okay, Kostya. So, for example, rook g1, we're threatening rook b1 to trap the knight b4. This is a natural move. We're just taking away dude's squares. And what we're saying is we can lasso. We can lasso this knight. Yeah, so too fast still, Jerry. Too fast.
That's nice.
Let me say something obvious. I said it already in the show. If you slow down, your rating will go up. You're just going to
Whoa,
see
Jerry,
more
yeah,
things.
come on, you got 35 minutes. Like 40 moves ago, you had 40 minutes on your clock. Now you have 35 minutes. How is that possible? Yeah, I gotta spend the time.
And Black
You gotta
resigned.
calculate this stuff.
Yeah. And at this point, if he's played this long, you might as well keep playing. So, if you play this long, you might as well not resign here.
Yeah, he was done.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Well, GG.
Good. GG. All right, let's do one more clubs, and then I got to run.
Cool.
I'll tell you what. Let me just make sure here. You got a choice of clubs, buddy. Which club? I've already done Midship, Brazil, UK, and Mississippi. Which club should we look at?
What about the Euro Club, the big one?
Okay. Yeah, that's an amazing one. Okay, where am I? Where is this big old club?
Man, 48 members. It was right there on the right.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, and there was a Coders Club. That's funny.
So we just did pepper chess. I have done quad XC recently. Let's look at being better at chess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow. Yeah. Now, one thing we were talking about a little earlier before you came, Kostya, is people who, make it through a higher cohort. It's like there should be, in many ways, like a bigger celebratory dance that we do when they graduate, just because it's so much harder. That's not to belittle like going from 3 to 4 to 5, but, just generally, especially if you're at a hard plateau, if you make it from this cohort to the next, well, that's a big deal. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And also, let me just say, at this level, you should be looking to use your FIDE rating. I get it, it's not as high as this one, but eventually. All right, let's take a look. Being better at chess activity. Well, Kostya likes to look at what they've done recently. We got some
just like
woodpecker method.
Seeing what they're up
Games
to.
played, post-mortems.
There's a question if there's a way
Yeah.
to post messages for the whole club. So Jack is working on it.
Yeah.
We just started this clubs thing a couple days ago, and so right now the functionality is that anyone can make a club and you can join any of the like publicly available clubs. But yeah, he's going to be working on adding some features to them, like a message board, club admins being able to like send notifications to people, multiple admins, and things. The clubs are also going to be able to have like a nice like little profile photo, and so a lot of that stuff is on the way basically.
And being better at chess, dude, he's focused on the games and analysis. 134. Dang.
Nice.
Dang. Okay, well,
Very
let's
nice.
go look at a game now. Oh, and look, we can click on his clubs. He's part of. Look at that, dude. It's already there.
I didn't even see that. A new
Yeah,
tab.
that's a new thing, man. And eventually, like European Club will get its own little icon, and then will be an icon next to him. Okay.
I don't think Jack sleeps. I'm just gonna say it. I've never seen him sleep. No one has seen him sleep. And there's always all these new features. He's got other jobs.
Yeah.
He probably just doesn't have to sleep. It's a secret. He just didn't tell anyone. Just works through the night.
My good friends, this I want to say optically looks like a very good annotation. Just at the very minimum, optically it looks great. Okay, so we won't even have. Oh no, I know exactly. This is Ginger GM's fault. This Bishop E2 thing. But being bad at chess, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Ginger.
No, Ginger GM did something on this, and can you imagine trying to rationalize Bishop E2 in some chessable course? You're like, no, this has got some real poison in it, And it's just like, bows. Come on, Bishop E2. Come on, buddy. Okay. If I don't have by the way, if I had an hour, I would spend an hour looking through all this, but I don't. So let's just check it out. Knight C6, D3. He's playing like a chump. Good move. Okay, so here we go. Thematic and correct, he says. And you play e6. I feel like you could do multiple moves here. You could play d5, d6, g6. Yeah. Okay, e6. I feel like you're committing, or at least, well, maybe not. And then d6 definitely does feel like indecision. So d5 would make a lot of sense. But okay,
Yeah.
you're still okay, d6.
Now, wait, actually, there's something interesting in the notes there. So it says on D5, white could go E5,
Right?
and it says on 6 knight G8, this would be an unfortunate necessity. But I actually think sometimes these E5 knight G8 positions can be really interesting
Oh, yeah.
because then you can bring the knight to F5 and you just get this like amazing French. So unless there's something immediately bad for black after E5 knight G8, like there's some kind of F5 or something, which
Right.
I don't know if there is, but black gets knight to F5 and you get H5, I think that's a fantastic position for black.
Absolutely. And then in general, with this whole Grand Prix stuff, you don't want to get your pawn locked. Federico, the F pawn, wants to move. He doesn't want to get blockaded. And in a similar way to knight g8, knight g4 looks like a similar idea. You'll just be a little bit more active, and if you need to, reroute through h6. Okay, d6. You're still doing okay. Oh, white's getting pretty fancy. Now, I'll just tell you this. If this guy, Oisin, didn't study some Ginger GM course, that dude would probably just be developing his pieces. Instead, he's doing this. Queen v6. It's a one mover. Yeah. And righty. Castles has got to be the right move. Castle's got to be the right move. Now, is it a double X? I'm just going to go ahead and say I don't think it's a double question mark. It
a bit
might be a
harsh.
bad move, but it's not a double. A double question mark, you hung something, you know?
Yeah.
You might be hanging a tempo, though, after something like knight a3, king h1. Okay. Okay. Good. King h1 probably wasn't necessary. Okay. And now you freak out and play e5. And then I think we are in legitimate trouble because let's talk about Federico the f pawn. So Federico the f pawn is controversial because usually you have to owe black a tempo for something like that, and you are in the way of your bishop. But the dream is pretty clear: is that if I can move the pawn, then the bishop on c1 is a beast. The rook on f1 comes into the game. So e5. Oh no! Now for sure, the problems associated with Federico the f-pawn, namely the activity of the rook on f1 and the bishop on c1, are now resolved for white. So it's worse than a tempo loss. And now white has an interesting question. Do they want to play f5 like a true champion? Throw knight c4 in first? Or just say, hey, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy you played e5. He goes for it. Okay. d5. Well, I at least respect that you're getting a little frisky here because you need to do something. Okay. What does he do? This guy, man, he's reading too many weird chessable courses here, bishop d1 and stuff.
No, he's playing the structure. I mean, that's the most logical move.
I get it. Okay. Yeah. It would be nice if we didn't have to do this. Now we're going to be freeing the knight on a3.
Right. What about maybe queen a6?
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a problem with
I think he
ed5.
mentions queen a6, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what we should say, though, the reason this is not desirable is now black. Well, there's several things. This knight is fixed. Then also white gets to play for this square. You don't get to play for that square. Things have gone bad here, right? So queen c7. I don't know. It's a rough life. This guy's going for you, buddy. There's some real caveman stuff. Can we just tell this man that he needs to bring his people out? Can you just tell him, Kostya? So a bunch of different
Like
moves are on.
G4. G4 was the move, right?
He's got several interesting things he could do. I mean, he's doing great.
Hmm.
Another good default move would just be Bishop B3. I don't know if there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, being bad at chess in the chat says G4 might win. Yeah, I called it.
Yeah.
Instincts.
No, this position is already really bad for white. I honestly, if it was black's move here, I still think it might be losing for black because the position, yeah, it's gone bad. But here, this is pure caveman here. This doesn't make any sense. Okay. Now he goes for it. Well, you're trying to do some stuff. He goes back. I would say that if dude gave me the opportunity, I'd definitely hack this thing and play f6, and I'm not going to get mated immediately, at least. This is still a problem piece. Yes, he will play for g5 later, but I got a lot of juice still. In fact, you wrote that in here. What do I think about this? I don't even know if I'm that much worse here. This one's hard to evaluate. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be even be double-edged. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. So now he correctly does a take back. Like I didn't want to do that. V5. Okay, he's fixing his piece. Now he's just going for it. Holy cacholes, look at that. Oh, we have to give up our one good piece.
Oh, but this is very nice what happened for black.
What? We got to talk about these moves here, man. What is that, dude?
B4.
I'm going to flip it back because I can't look at it. I can't take responsibility anymore.
B4 is odd.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. F6, yeah. Sure. This dude, man. He doesn't care about anything. Okay. Yeah. I have a feeling there was some time pressure here on both everybody's accounts. You doing?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about rook c4. And now this coconut is touching me here. After making so many bad moves, this guy finds this little thing.
Wow.
It's pretty
Uh-oh.
miraculous. That's miraculous right there. Yeah.
Bishop E5 is resourceful.
He gave him a welcome to the dojo moment over here. And then he's talking about queen b3 instead, for sure. And then who knows what's happening now. Oh my gosh. I guess is black winning now? This would be a good one to have a little times involved, but we just know that it's a 130 here. That looks good. Check to the miserable bishop. Oh, now you're... I have no idea what's happening here.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I feel like I would take the knights in a middle game situation. Ooh, but in an endgame. Oh, I take the rook.
I take it all, baby. I take it all.
Oops.
Now we're in a technical endgame. Looks lost.
Nice.
Probably got to be okay.
Let's see the technique.
Let's see the technique, baby. He's just going to take it nice and slow here. Oh, there we go. I like that. Oh, very nice. Chess is an easy game now. And he's just like, he's done. Okay. So first of all, mild apologies for not taking more time on that, because that was a really good annotation.
Yeah.
And we could have really dived deep on that. And that is, if you're just watching, you've never been to the dojo, this is what chess improvement looks like, is doing this kind of work. Look at this, man. For sure, man. For sure. Let's go back for just a second. Being better at chess, being bad at chess. So, right, he's working on this FIDE rating. He's got a little bit of improvement. He's gonna get a boost. He's gonna get a boost.
Yeah, getting boosted 10 days away.
Is it really 10 days away? It's gonna happen,
I think it's
Kostya. I'm so
March.
afraid of
Yeah,
this
I
thing.
think they keep promising.
Oh God, dude, I can't take it, man. I can't take it. It's gonna really hose our system too, man. And because like at the very beginning, it won't be clear how much the system is gonna change, right? It seems like definitely there's gonna be an inflation push, but like how much? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say because
Yeah. Because
well,
the players below 2000 will get an epic rating boost, but then later they're going to get smacked down, and the players above them are going to eat that rating boost, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
going to be hard to like actually say what the rating boost is for our system. Maybe we just let it ride for a little bit. I don't know.
right.
I still have hope that somebody in a position of power is going to be like, Baus, this is a really terrible idea. We're gonna send it back to committee. We're gonna send it
You don't
back to
like this
committee.
idea? What do you mean?
Oh, I think it's horrendous, dude.
What's wrong with the
Horrendous.
surplus? You don't want some free rating points?
It's not about that. It's like if it's first of all, I am very willing. We'll do a podcast on this sometime, but I'm very willing to be taught by people as to why this is such a great idea. But the main reason for me being as a chess reactionary, where I don't like it, is if it does inflate the system significantly, then all the goalposts get moved. And these goalposts, for those of us who have been in this for a while, are meaningful. It's like, Fischer was 2780. Now, in today's measurements, he would probably be higher than 2780. But still, it's like there's a mild bit of comparison there. If we start getting players with 29 or plus, that's not going to make any sense. It's going to feel dumb. It's going to feel like those blitz ratings of 3,000 gazillion. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
It's turning into Lee chess here? That's horrendous, dude.
Well, I don't think it will inflate that much. I mean, I have no idea as far as the math goes, but yeah, I would agree that that would be too much if that happened. But I feel like that won't happen.
You think it's just going to be a mild inflation?
I think so, because it's also counteracting the ongoing deflation, which is like all these super underrated players.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's not true though, dude. It's not. We're going to talk about it. Kostya, I got to run,
But
buddy. Do you want to keep going after I shut this down?
no, I think I gotta go as well. I'm playing a tournament tomorrow, folks,
Yeah,
here
you
in
go.
St. Louis.
We'll cover some of the games, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's classical, not rapid, but yeah. So I have some work to do to get ready and prep for that. But yeah, thanks, y'all. I'll put a link in the Discord or something once there's like a link to live games.
Yeah, yeah.
To
All right,
have.
everybody. Oh, I gotta rate somebody, and then I gotta. If I don't like stop the stream, Kostya will be on me, dude. He'll post pictures of me on Twitter and stuff, man, publicly shaming me, dude. We're gonna rate I am Rosen.